What's going on YouTube? It's Ebenezer. I don't remember what video I was watching that brought this topic to my head. Um, but I'm sure if you type it in on YouTube, it'll probably pop up. Um, the question is, does being a deep thinker, is that the reason why most of us are alone? Does deep thinking equal loneliness? And I say that because when you're a deep thinker, first off, I think deep thinkers are probably amongst the most loyal people that you can probably be around. Because if you're a deep thinker and you're a good person, not a villain, um, you're going to be aware of, first off, you're going to be sensitive to other people's emotions because some people are sensitive. A lot of people don't like to hear the truth. Um, so you're sensitive to a lot of, you're aware of how not to try to hurt someone's feelings. Um, and I feel like, and you're aware of just being a good person in general. I think if you're a deep thinker, those are one of the main things you're aware of is the difference between good and evil, which makes you a loyal person. That's one of the reasons why I feel like the deep thinkers are loners, because when you're aware of good and evil, and you're aware of, let's say deadly sins like pride, greed, envy, lust, and all these things. When you're aware of these things just make you a more loyal person. For example, most guys, if you keep up on what goes on in the ghetto at all, or maybe if you listen to rap music, or if you're from the ghetto, most guys in the streets, when they go to jail or get killed, they best friends are right there trying to screw their woman, their baby mama, their wife, whoever it is. If he goes away for 10 years, it's his closest friends that's trying to screw his woman. A deep thinker wouldn't do that, in my opinion. Not if you're a deep thinker who leans more towards the good side. A deep thinker is not about to go after their friend's wife or girlfriend or any woman of interest that your friend has. That's just what a solid person is. We look at these little things, these little, I guess you can call them nuances. We look at these little things, and we stay away from these things that would make us disloyal. Whereas people who aren't deep thinkers, this is where I say self-preservation comes into play. I think people who are deep thinkers don't fall into that self-preservation category, because most people who don't who are shallow thinkers aren't really thinking past their needs: sex, money, drugs, company. Being alone is not something no one really wants, unless you are a deep thinker and you find power in your isolation, which most of us deep thinkers do. That's what makes us more introverted and more loners. You find power in that isolation, but most people don't find power in isolation. Most people need to be around other people. That's just the average person. And even even most loners still need human interaction, man. You need human interaction, even if you're a loner. I'm sorry, you just do. Some people need it less than others, but human interaction is part of our evolutionary buildup as humans. It's because we're like a tribal race, the human race. But most people need people around them, which is why the video I made about self-preservation kind of talks about this. And I want to let y'all know these videos are hardly ever designed. I just go off the top of my head. I don't prepare these speeches or something like I probably should be doing. That's probably why people be like, son of a bitch. That's probably why people damn, I just had a phone call and it just threw me off. That's why probably a lot of people call me, say that I'm honest and truthful, because that's what I'm giving y'all, is honesty and truth, which is, I know, is very rare. My honesty and truth. So I think this is the reason why a lot of people are alone. Most people, we're able to see how other people are selfish. We're able to see the selfishness in other people. We're able to see our friends stepping on our toes when our friends aren't even thinking about that. They're not even thinking that way. They're just thinking about having fun. They're just thinking about raising their dopamine levels and pleasing themselves. They're not thinking about stepping on people's toes. My sister once told me, well, you're just, you can just snap off at any moment. You know what I mean? You're like my sister's always called me a lion or something, like, you're always roaring. I don't always roar. I'm actually a very nice, calm guy to be around for the most part. But if I keep on telling you something in a nice way and you keep on taking my kindness for weakness or taking advantage of my kindness, then yes, I'm gonna roar. I'm gonna bark. I might bite. Um, and it's because as a deep thinker, you're gonna pick up on certain things that other people don't pick up on. You're gonna pick up on low vibrational people. If I'm a sober person and I decide to go sober and my friends are still trying to get me to get high and drunk, most people are just gonna brush that off like it's nothing. I'm gonna look at that and say, no, you're not my friend. Most people don't even think that way, which is crazy to me. If you're trying to convince me to get high and drunk when you know I'm sober, or if I'm on a diet and you're trying to convince me to eat some burgers, or I'm saying I'm sugar free, I'm gluten free, and you're trying to say, hey, why don't you just come to this barbecue and eat a burger? Deep thinkers aren't going to do that. Deep thinkers are going to respect your wishes. They're going to respect you trying to be a better person. Most people aren't trying to be better. That's the difference between a deep thinker and someone who doesn't think that deep. Most people are not trying to get better morally. A deep thinker sees the problems in the world. We see these problems. We see, like, I don't think a deep thinker, I don't think a person that's and of course, deep thinkers aren't going to always agree. The average person just can't see why abortion is wrong. Now, this is subjective. If you're religious, then it's, if you look at the Bible as the truth, then you can't say abortion is subjective. You would say it's objective, because abortion should clearly be wrong if you're a believer in the Bible, or in a believer in any of the holy books or Abrahamic religions. That's a no-brainer. Things like racism, or things like I don't know, just all these problems that we have in the world, things like the evil that we have in music, how music spreads evil. A person that's not that deep of a thinker, who's really just focused on their own gains, personal gains, isn't gonna. If you're making money off of rap music, you're not gonna really care. I think I said this in a self-preservation video. You're not gonna care about spreading evil if it's making your pockets fatter and it's making your livelihood better. You're not gonna think about spreading evil. Or you're not gonna think about the negativity, or this negativity. Even if you do thinking about it, this negativity isn't gonna make you change your ways. If you're selling drugs and you see how it's destroying your customers, but it's also putting money in your pocket. But a deep thinker is gonna look at this and be like, wait a minute, man. This isn't right. I have to do something about this. Some deep thinkers don't try to change the world. Some deep thinkers, which I do think is, I don't know, shows their level of, I don't want to say humanity. I kind of want to say humanity and strength. I think that's the stronger people with a stronger mind, who hasn't given up on humanity. We're going to fight the fight. We're going to fight the good fight, even if we're struggling to be good ourselves. So this is why I think deep thinkers are so misunderstood, because deep thinkers can be maybe disagreeable, maybe. I know there's something called the dark triad, which they have things like I know one of the categories of the dark triad is narcissism. I can't remember the other two, but they say someone who's part of this dark triad thing is disagreeable also. That aside, do I think most deep thinkers are part of the dark triad? No, because I don't think a deep thinker is going to really be that narcissistic, because if you're I'm talking about, like I said, deep thinkers who are more moral and wants to save humanity. We're not going to fall into that dark triad. I don't believe. But deep thinkers can be very disagreeable, because maybe I see the problem in women. I see the direct link to the problem in women to teachings in the Bible and the Quran and the Torah. All three of these things. I see how the Bible kind of warns you about women, even if the story of Adam and Eve isn't exactly true, because you got to remember, in the Bible, people were writing pretty poetically back then. It seems like, they had a lot of metaphors and parables and ways to try to teach people. It wasn't like just straightforward. You always kind of got to read between the lines in the way that they wrote back then. Maybe I don't know if that's because that's the King James version that we get, and maybe that's how the English taught, or is this just how obviously how the Bible taught? They translated it the best they could into English. So I see the direct link to how women are and what the Bible warns us about. I see it in Islam, where they tell women to, a deep thinker will understand why a man of Islamic faith would want to his wife, to be covered up. Now, maybe not as drastic as covering up her whole face and her hands and everything, but wearing short shorts, covering up her thighs, her legs, her feet, her cleavage, and all this. I can understand why a Muslim woman would want to do that. That's what distracts me in out here anyway. You see all these women dressing sexy. You see all those curves. You know what I mean? You see women in tight pants, belly shirts, cleavage showing, tattoos everywhere. Of course, that's making a woman who's already taken. It makes it look like she's on the market. And with all the temptations out here, all that woman has to do is get drunk, and for someone to pursue her, and maybe she'll end up becoming a cheater and end up cheating on someone. This also makes men cheat more. This also promotes for the predators out here rape and molestation. Which is in no way giving them a pass at all. You know how I feel about anybody that rapes or molests someone. Beat them. Torture them. But I think this is why deep thinkers are so lonely, because we think in a way that the mass does not. And so if you are a deep thinker, I would encourage you to embrace that loneliness, because you will probably find strength in that loneliness, and within that loneliness, you'll probably become your best self. I'm Ebenezer the Scrooge. I'm out.